Hey, do you have much chance to talk to Coach Beamer?
Have I had? No.
No?
No, I haven't talked to him. I think I better call him. I've been practicing flipping a coin.
Who gets to flip? Do you ever decide?
I have
you
no
flip
idea.
a coin for
Yeah, we'll flip a coin to see who gets to flip the coin. But I'm anxious to see Frank, because when I coached, he was one of my favorite guys, because he always ran a clean program, and you know, whenever we played, it was always a good football game. So I'm anxious to see him. I'm not a, you know, I was gonna sit at home, have a hot fudge sundae and watch that daggone game. Now I got to get to Washington D.C. to flip a coin. So anyhow, it'll be fun.
Coach, I know when you started, Penn State was your two top rivals. Virginia Tech got into that mix. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, there ain't any question. When I first came here, all I ever heard about was Pitt and Penn State, and I think Coach Dooley was the coach at Virginia Tech,
yeah.
And I don't know how many years we played him, and then Frank came on the scene and had some tough sledding for a couple years, and he got it going. And of course, you know, in my opinion, Michael Vick was the best college football player that we ever played against. And you know, I mean, they had 2 number-1 round draft picks in a row. They had that thing Drunkenmiller or something like that, and then Michael. And when he ran into those 2 guys, his program took off.
And another good guy named Bruce Smith. He wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, well, I remember him too. Oh, brother. He was probably the best defensive lineman we played against. But Virginia Tech, you know, from a fan standpoint, I'm not too sure the fans didn't like that rivalry more than the other ones, because, especially down south, because they didn't have as much chance to go to the Penn State games. But anyhow, that was always a great rival. I'm glad we're playing them again. That's good for us.
That's a pretty big statement, saying he's the best you saw in terms of Vicks. I mean, Flutie, Testaverde, you played Heisman Trophy winners. That's a pretty big statement.
I know we played some guys that were pretty daggone good, but they were none of them any better than Michael Vick. I mean, he could flat out run. And, you know, those quarterbacks that go back to throw and can't find anything and take off, because there's just no defense for it. Because if you drop a guy and spy him, well, then you never get to the quarterback. You don't have anybody rush him. So there's not much answer for a scrambling quarterback, especially as good as he was.
Remember your view of him running down the sideline and
Yeah.
to set up the winning field goal?
Yeah, I remember.
That had to be a sick moment.
Yeah. You know, Bob, I played in the Pro-Am down at the Greenbrier, and this was a couple years ago, and the pro was a Virginia Tech graduate. And he said to me, he says, you know, and he was from Africa, South Africa, Zimbabwe. What's that guy's name? You guys would know it. The pro.
Yeah.
Nick Price? Oh, Gary Player.
No.
He's a younger guy. He's current.
Borger.
Yeah.
It was a funny name.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he said, Coach, the first football game I ever saw was in Mountaineer Field. He said, I came to Virginia Tech as a student, and my roommate said, hey, let's go to the West Virginia football game. I hear there was that crazy place to watch a game. So he said, it's the first game I ever saw. And he says, that's when that Michael Vick got down the sideline. And I said, hey, you're going to ruin my golf game. I don't want to hear about it. But, yeah, I remember that very well, Bob.
You said you like to see a game like this come back. You know, after all this transition with college football realignment and being in the Big 12 now, what does it mean to see a Virginia Tech come back on the schedule if it is only just this one game this year and then a few down the road?
Well, like I say, Pitt, Penn State, and Virginia Tech, when I coached here, they were monumental games. Everybody looked forward to them. Our kids did, our fans did, and so the fact that somebody's coming back on the schedule is big. And plus, Virginia Tech's always a very competitive team, and I think we're playing them at a good time because they don't have a quarterback. And I've had teams with quarterbacks, and I've had teams without them. And I don't mind telling you, the ones without them, it was a struggle. So it'll be an interesting game.